Hello and welcome back to This Entertainment. This time for my review of 2017, I believe. Take a look here. Yeah. 2017's Doctor Strange, which is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I know it's kind of dark today due to weather patterns, irregular ones. This is the cinematic release version. And no, this light's are... Yeah, I don't like this light. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the light on real quick. That's better. Now you can see me. So Doctor Strange, the Marvel Cinematic Universe edition. This has the 3D version of the movie in it. Unfortunately, this is the last Marvel Cinematic Universe movie in direct line of films that in the United States of America is in 3D. After this movie, there's no more 3D in the United States. Which is a shame. Well, technically, I guess you could count Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, but I already reviewed that one. Well, the 3D in this movie was pretty spectacular. I really enjoyed the combination of Real D 3D and IMAX 3D sequences. Definitely played a very good part in the movie. I say there's a lot of IMAX 3D in this movie, a lot more in this than there is in the Guardians of the Galaxy films. This is definitely an A+ thing for me. I really did enjoy that. This is was a fresh breath of air compared to all the other ones we came before it, because we've gotten so used to a certain formula of how these Marvel movies are. We've been kind of just sticking to it the entire time. Doctor Strange kind of went against that. Completely against that, and decided to be a whole different kind of movie. Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange. Perfect cast. Perfect casting right there. Go ahead and put that little well-tailored and trimmed down goatee on him. You pretty much have Doctor Strange. He looks just like him in the comics. It's pretty remarkable. I also thought his American accent he does in this movie is pretty good, considering the fact that he's actually an Englishman. So I thought that was kind of cool. Alright, well, the plot of the movie. You're introduced to Dr. Stephen Strange, who is a surgeon and a researcher. He was doing a procedure on somebody, some sort of surgery. He meets up with one of his colleagues who pronounced, another colleague pronounced brain dead prematurely, and so he takes a bullet out of the person's skull. They got lodged in there, and the person recovers. And when we find out that Stephen Strange is a little bit cocky, a little bit of narcissist, and thinks he's better than everybody else, and the rules don't apply to him, and he's picky about who to save, you not to. And then, on the way to a seminar, he doesn't pay attention to the road and does what so many people out there do. Looking at the cell phone and not paying attention to the road, and he drives off a cliff. And in the process, irreversibly destroys his hands. And even all the modern medical science out there could not save his hands. And he spent all his money trying to do so. And he hears about this individual who a similar paralysis, but in his legs. He miraculously recovered. So he approaches the guy, and the guy says, I elevated my mind. There's a place called Comet Touch that's located in Nepal, in Southeast Asia, in India, basically. So Nepal and India. So he goes over to Nepal on his last dollar, and then discovers that there's a whole different kind of world around us, and he learns about how this guy elevated his mind. And he goes to training to become a sorcerer of mythical arts. That's how he would kind of put it. Meanwhile, while training to become a sorcerer, he discovers that other sorcerers took a dark spell out of the possession of the movement that he's a part of now, from the Sorcerer Supreme. In the comics, is a woman. Sorry, take back. In the comics, is a man, but in the movie, is a woman. But that's okay. I like the diversity. And he goes into competition with them. And he discovers that this spell has to deal with opening dimensions that allow the dark dimension to overtake reality, and for this conqueror of worlds, pretty much conquering our world. And so, after the Order Supremes, or Sorceress Supreme, does die, Dr. Strange takes on the mantle of kind of being the new leader and protector of our world from mythical forces, as well as protecting our reality. And he goes against this supervillain, this cosmic being, named Arafo, I believe is his name. And that's where he discovered that the last of the Infinity Stones, before, of course, Infinity War and Endgame. And that is the Time Stone. And he uses a time loop to force the intergalactic villain to leave Earth by repeating time over and over and over again in a time loop. At that point in time, in watching the movie, I lost count how many times this cosmic being killed Doctor Strange and how many different ways he did. But, he kept coming back. I've come to bargain. And then he's like, stop this. Well, I've come to bargain. And he bargains, of course, stay with Murph. That's essentially how that kind of works. And then, of course, that's pretty much it when it comes to the plot of the movie. Now, audio and video quality. The video quality of this movie is very spectacular. Very good use of temperatures in this movie. This one does seem more towards being a warm digital looking movie, more like an Iron Man film does, but just the smoothness of how it looks just makes it look really, really good. Because I did see a lot of neutrals in there, and even at some points in the movie there was a little bit of a hint of cool color temperature. So that definitely does work. No grain on the screen, of course. This is Blu-ray, there never really is. Audio quality. Unlike the last movie, this movie has very, very good audio quality. I mean, Black Panther really didn't. Or to be told, actually, Spider-Man Homecoming was the last one, wasn't it? So Black Panther had bad audio quality. But this one has good audio quality. And in this film, you don't get the sense that they're screwing around with the dramatic blast levels during post-production, making the sound of the movie. You don't get that sense with this film. So this has good intensity. There's lots of really good effects flying all around the place. Very good use of sound in this movie. Now, on a Rich scale, where do I rank this movie in the grand scheme of things in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Well, after watching these movies all month long, and I know I'm a little bit behind on reviewing them and putting them up on the net, I would have to say this is among one of my favorite ones in the entire franchise. I just really like this movie. I know that a lot of people don't. You know what? You could be like that. You could have your little status quo. Luke, come back over here. You can have a little status quo about that all you want, but this is my own opinion. I think that Doctor Strange is one of the best ones in the entire Marvel universe, or MCU, as everybody likes to call it. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the visuals. I enjoyed the concepts. I enjoyed the 3D. I enjoyed the action. All of it was just quite good and well made. Well, I'll see you guys next time for my review of Thor Ragnarok. Until then.